So we have been looking at different ways to build lab environments, and we look at that and how the on-prem hardware should look like, and we looked at how to build VMs in Azure and how to build VMs on-prem. But that's just building VMs, and we also did some kind of configuration using PowerShell. But when it really comes to lab environment, you usually create a fictive organization. So me and a friend a long time ago, we created a lab environment or a fictive company called Via Monstra, which doesn't really mean anything, but we need to have that fake name. It's nice to have a fake organization, a fake name, because it's easy to relate to. So you have fake users, you have fake accounts, you have fake group names, you have something to play with. It could be anything. It's a very well-known trick for technical authors. They usually create a company or an organization. Microsoft has been doing that as well. I'm pretty sure that you remember a few of the famous or infamous Microsoft company name. But today, we're actually going to build a complete domain controller in just a few minutes using what we call an hydration kit. So let me dig into the demo directly so you can see what happens here when we're building this lab environment. So I'm going to open PowerShell and I'm going to show you the configuration file, because we need to look at the configuration file so you understand how that works. Not that difficult, but it's in the same toolkit folder that we had last time. Now we're going to go to the control folder. In the control folder, you're going to see that we have XML files. I'm going to open the custom settings.xml file, and you can see here that it's a very boring XML file. It contains boring information, more boring information, and something interesting, like the organization name, time zone, language, things like that. It also contains network information that we have, and that's the network we're going to use. It contains the domain. Here's the domain name. Here's the password for the domain. And here's all the OUs and accounts and groups that will be created. And here's all the computers that we have. We have a lab DC01, we have a lab DC02, we have a lab server 1. This list can be very long if you want to. Now, in the lab DC01, it says name is here, and the computer role is defined as TE-ADDS01. TE stands for tenant. I can open the toolkit and go to roles, and then you're going to find that there's a role called TE-ADDS01. So when we run that machine, this role is going to be in play together with the role default. If we open that one, it's going to say that, hey, I'm going to install the following components, and I'm going to configure them, and I'm going to do all the things that we needed to do. Create all the users, all the OUs, all the accounts, and configure both Active Directory, DNS, and DHCP. Yes, you can download these files. They're going to be somewhere around here in the show notes. There's going to be a GitHub repo that you can download all these scripts. So let's go back and close this one, because we don't need it right now. And we're going to open another file called Work in Progress. And Work in Progress is the PowerShell script that builds everything. Now, this is going to take a while to build, and we're going to fast forward everything that is around the build process so we can pick it up when it's done. But first thing we do is that we run this. And then it says, oh, you can't run that. No, it's because there's a letter in the beginning that needs to go away. Now I should run it. Hey, that works. You also need to spell. Then we need to read the data from the XML file. I'm going to do it by reading the data from the XML file. Here's the data. And that means I'm going to have all the data for that machine here. So we have the computer name. We have the... No, it's not going to be domain joined. It's domain controller, network adapter. So I can actually grab this and see what's behind these by doing like network adapters. Okay, so those are my network adapters. So we can see what's behind other things like application settings. Okay, so we can see what's behind, for instance, roles and features. Role, and now it's going to be app settings, app. I need to have name. See if I get that. Yes, that's a name. And app. No, it's not that. You can see, if I run that again, you can see there's different configurations. So for instance, for roles and features, it's enabled, and ADDS and DHCP is going to be enabled. If we open the XML file again, let's do that, and open it here, you can see here that if you go down to this, oops, let's remove that. That's a computer here. You can see that we have here the application settings and the app settings for roles and features, and it says DHCP and ADDS should be configured, including applications as well. So that's why we can see that, and that's fine. So it did read everything correctly. We also need to have the applications, and well, they're going to be in that folder. Then we need to define, should we configure the network? Yes, we should. Should we configure the data disks? The data disks. I forgot about that. We need to have a data disk setting. And let's go and create a data disk. Here we are. Hard drive, add, new, lab DC data disk 01. Next. Next, finish, yes. That's just for the fun of it. I need a DVD drive. Don't ask me why. I just love them. Like that. So yeah, I want to configure the data disk. I want to configure the identity, meaning I want the machine to be named correctly. So if we run this, we are now watching what we call paint dry. This is going to take a few minutes. It will configure the hard disk. It will configure the IP address. It will configure the name of the machine. It will add Active Directory, create all the users, all the accounts, all the groups, and we are done in a few minutes. I would say somewhere around 10 to 15 minutes. Why do I need to have this? Well, because every time I test and lab, I change things. And the only way to get back to the previous state, well, I can do snapshots, but that's not going to be enough. I need to be able to rebuild an environment exactly the same way it was before. That's crucial. That's the whole idea around building a lab environment, to be able to do it again and again and again. So we ain't going to watch paint dry, but we're going to look how this looks like the next time you stop by, and then you can see the net result of this. That's all for now. And this is, of course, the Truesec Reactor, and my name is Mikael Nyström.